Hello, my name is Esme Elloway and I'll be presenting the following research study. Access to Assisted Conception, comparing artificial intelligence for qualitative data analysis from the online service user forum Care Opinion. Access to assisted conception includes access to IVF, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and insemination. The aim of the project was to compare human qualitative data analysis with ChatGPT's data analysis and to explore the lived experiences of people accessing fertility services in the UK, using data derived from the Care Opinion website. The rationale for the project is that nationally infertility affects around 1 in 7 heterosexual couples. However, only half of those affected by infertility have sought medical or professional help. Access to fertility services has been highlighted as part of the top 10 priorities for future infertility research, as little is known about this phenomenon. An advantage of collecting data from Care Opinion is that the feedback is natural and not shaped by the researcher's influence or bias in terms of focus or direction. The inclusion criteria was any entry into the Care Opinion feedback forum mentioning access to IVF or other forms of assisted conception. Any entry that mentions solely IVF or other forms of assisted conception treatment were excluded, as the focus of this study is access to treatment, not treatment outcomes. Due to the Care Opinion website maintaining the confidentiality of people who post their forum, it's not possible to analyse data about people's characteristics, such as age, race, and gender. However, some forum posts did include characteristic information, which was self-disclosed by the person. For example, their sexual orientation was mentioned. Ethical approval is not needed for the study, as the data was collected from a publicly accessible forum, which makes the stories and responses available under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 international license. The researcher is a nurse, however, has not worked in fertility care, so this role and experience is unlikely to cloud the researcher's view on the data being explored. The researcher has personal experience of accessing fertility services in the UK through the NHS and private healthcare sector. And therefore, there are preconceptions of the differing access criteria and thoughts and feelings of how this affected the researcher. So the research will follow Herdinger's phenomenological stance and embrace engagement as a way of exploring people's lived experiences. One advantage of collecting data from the Care Opinion Forum is that the feedback is natural and not shaped by the researcher's influence or bias in terms of focus or direction. The search term IVF was inputted into the Care Opinion search bar. Data saturation was met through the coding and sorting into themes of 157 posts over a 7-year period, from 2018 to 2025. Data saturation may have been met sooner, but as a novice researcher, caution was applied to ensure no new themes were emerging, consistent with an inductive thematic saturation process, and as a result, a large sample of rich data was analysed. After initial researcher data analysis, ChatGPT was used to triangulate the results. The research came up with 7 themes, including disorganisation, lack of knowledge of the system, lack of help and support, treated without kindness and compassion, and waiting times and delays to fertility treatment, satisfaction with communication surrounding preconception care, financial and funding issues, not meeting assisted conception eligibility criteria. There were positive experiences of access to fertility assisted conception, and feeling let down by the system, emotionally drained by the fertility process and system. ChatGPT's 5 themes included administrative failures in IVF pathways, emotional toll of infertility and treatment, administrative failures in IVF pathways, communication gaps and lack of empathy, barriers to IVF access, instances of poor care, emotional toll of infertility and treatment. The patient voices, which captured the essence of people's experience of accessing assisted conception, include "My mental and physical health have taken a beating," discriminating of the LGBTQ plus community. "We had no faith they'd get the science bit right because they failed in pretty much everything else. 2.5 years from referral to treatment. It doesn't seem like that anyone has a clue on fertility cycle concerns and how to make an IVF referral. We missed out on our first chance to start IVF because they didn't contact us or give us any information," which cost us approximately £5,000, which we had to take out of bank loan to fund. At each appointment, we were treated with the utmost professionalism and kindness by every individual we met. So in conclusion, the data from Care Opinion is, in summary, indicates that the majority of people are unaffected with the access to process to assisted conception, including delays to treatment and generally a disorganised system. Comparison between human-generated thematic analysis and ChatGPT artificial intelligence data analysis indicates remarkable similarity. ChatGPT was quicker and more effective time-wise. to provide the data and is particularly suited to qualitative textual analysis and for the relative novice researcher.